peace and love. Welcome back to tunjitalks, the home of I Have a Thirst. To get a copy of my brand new book, Whiteboard, Black Pieces, Race in the West, click the Amazon link in the description down below. To support the channel, check out the details below. If you'd like to support on the Cash App, that's #tunjitalks, that's #tunjitalks. Or if you'd like to support on PayPal, that's paypal.me/tunjitalks, that's paypal.me/tunjitalks. Right, so let's get into it. I was talking to my grandma about her Windrush experience. So, ladies and gents, I present to you part 1 of Windrush, a St. Lucian story. I'm going home one day tomorrow. So let's talk about growing up in St. Lucia. How was your childhood in St. Lucia?
It was alright, we was about how many children? We raised up with 11 children. Life wasn't like now. It was harder when we was young, but now everything is more, how to put it, more bright, more developed. The St. Lucia developed more than when I was small. Before I left the country, when I came here for 25 years afterwards, when I go home, I find it's developed. Everything you see brighter, The childhood wasn't too bad. My mom was poor, but she do good. She do what she can for us, Bring us up as she could. And we thank her for that.
Because St. Lucia was a colony of Britain, How was Britain viewed when you were growing up? People often refer to Britain as the Motherland, and was that the case when you were growing up, that when you heard people talk about Britain, it was referred to as kind of like the Motherland?
Well, we didn't know. I didn't know until I came in this country, because I was older. I heard they say St. Lucia was a Britain island, and the French. So there was fighting. 1 minute is for Britain, 1 minute the French take it back, 1 minute Britain take it, but Indian is stay for Britain. But now they come independent, so. But they never drop the Queen. The Queen can go there anytime if you like.
Windrush, do you remember, so how did you hear about the opportunity to come to Britain? So was it by word of mouth? Did you hear people saying, oh, there's opportunities in Britain? Or was it more kind of like it was on the news and in newspapers that you saw there's opportunities in Britain?
I don't know, because I come to Britain through my brother sent for me. My brother was here and he sent for me. That's how I get myself here. I didn't know they have problem to come to the country. I didn't know anything about that. So when I hear people talking, they come to work and this and that, I didn't know until I came here. When my brother sent for me, then I find job, start to working. I remember I said one day, I was so cold, I said, when is a Christmas follow Sunday, I want to go home. And so many Sunday, I'm still here, thanks God, So, thanks God I haven't got bad experience to say I leave my country and come here and this and that. So I thank God every day the treatment I get. So I praise God for that.
You said that your brother sent for you. So how did he do that? Did he kind of like send you a letter in the post and he was like, oh, I'd like you to come to Britain?
Yes, he sent me letters and he have his whole money, so he sent me a letter. I supposed to come to Britain 1957, but I have to hold back until I send my sister. My mom sent my sister in my place, and I come 1959. And when I came here, I had a letter. I just go in the bank and get the money to pay my passage, and that's how I come here. So when I come and meet my brother. So he's the one sent for me. His money send me the letter, go and get the money in the bank to pay my passage. So he's the one sent for me. I stay with him for a while, and then I have to find my own place because he was married, have his wife, So I had to find my own place afterwards. But we praise him. Afterwards, my brother left. We go to America, and then thank God I did up to now. But then my brother passed away in America. Came by boat because my brother was in Aruba. When he come from Aruba, afterwards he and a few friends come up to England in a boat. And when I come in a boat, TV Venezuela. I had the picture. Up to now, it disappeared. I don't know what happened. It was a new boat I came by. Yeah, it was a long travel. How many days? We was like tourists dressed come out in the boat, go here and there. I remember they said to me, "Oh, you look like the Queen. You dress so nice. You look like the Queen."
So, as you say, it wasn't kind of like a straight trip from St. Lucia to Britain, or did you stop at other Caribbean islands?
No, they stop, but we never go down. You never go leave the shore. We never go inshore. They tell you where you are. It's not. You stop Barcelona and I forget the name of the. Is it Spain or some? I can't remember now. Tenerife. We stop Tenerife. We visit we come out shore from the boat and visit, just for a while and come back in. Few of us come out.
When you arrived in Britain, do you remember, was it in London that you arrived to?
Yes, London. I never live out of London. I reach in London, arrived in London, and I live in London. For that many years I'm here, I still in London. I never live nowhere else in the country part or nowhere. In London, I still in London. I still in the southeast London.
Earlier you said your brother sent for you to come to Britain. But what made you want to come? Because you could have said no.
I want to be with him. I want to be with my brother. Because he's bring us up like father to us. So I want to be with him. And the wife was so nice to me. So I went with them. That's why I didn't say no. I come up and with my mother. I sent for my mother afterwards. And my mother passed away 103, 2003. So I want to be with the family, because when he went to Aruba, I missed him so much. I used to cry every day. So afterwards, I spent 8 years in Aruba, and when he came home, he stayed a while. So he decided to go to England. So when he sent to me, I said, "All right, I'd like to be with him together." So we live very good, like a father to us,
So when you got on the boat initially in St. Lucia, when you got on the boat, looked around, got to your room, what was your first impression of the boat?
Crying. I left my mom behind. A few days I was all right, but afterwards I started crying. Remember, I left my mom behind. I'll never see her again. That was my impression. But afterwards, when I reached her, when I wrote her, and then she answered me back, then we keep get in touch. So until that, afterwards we sent for her, and then she stayed with her. She went to America, visit my brother, and she come back. So we was happy. We was happy family. Thanks God. Thanks for my brother,
On the ship, did you have a room to yourself or a shared cabin?
We had shared cabin. If it's somebody I know very well, and we meet together in a ship and we were sharing cabin, that's Iceland. Yeah, we were sharing cabin, but she's not around anymore. She passed away. And after I reached here, he was friend with my sister. We used to see each other very often.
In general, was it 2 people to a cabin, or in your case, it was 2 people to a cabin?
2 people in my cabin. Just to me and Iceland.
So in your case, there was 2 people to a cabin. In other cases, were there more to a cabin, like whole families to a cabin? Do you know?
I think so. I'm not sure. There's some people have many people in a cabin. It all depends if you get a big cabin or if you find one for 2 or 4, But where I was, it was just 2 of us that was there.
Were the cabins allocated, or was it a case of first come, first served?
I don't know about that. They used to, the boat pass different places, pick up people. So I don't know if it's who come first, get the better one, or I don't know. I didn't have no idea, about that one. There's somebody, I think, how they call them? Someone with you, take you to your cabin, and they give you somebody to share in. And it happened, the person they give me to share is somebody I know. So I was happy to find out I had share with someone I know. I used to rent houses for that woman that shared the cabin with me. It's somebody, her mother and her. I know her and her husband. I know them very well. The husband came here before, and she sent for her. It happened. We traveled together.
On the journey, on your way to England, were you worried at all? And what did you expect when you came? Did you think the roads were paved with gold, or I don't know, what did you think?
I didn't think of nothing, honestly. I just was interested in just to meet my brother. I didn't know if I had to work or what I have to do. I didn't have that in mind. I just want to leave the boat to reach, to meet my family. I was late to reach. They take holiday to come and spend with me when I get here. But the boat stays so long on the sea, so they had to go back to work. So when I came, I leave home in August, I reached in September. So the holiday time finished, they had to go back to work. So when I met them, when I come out in the train and I met them, I was so glad. I hold my sister-in-law and I start crying. I remember my mother. I left, But afterwards, I was all right. I was happy, Work hard, but God help you survive. Thank God.
How did you know when and where to meet your brother? Because at that time there weren't like mobile phones around, so were you able to send messages to your brother while you were on the ship?
No, you can't. You don't know where he is, you don't know where you are, but I suppose when they find out here, they know this ship will, you will land certain date, but we don't know, because like you say, we don't have phone, we can't get in touch. That's why they take holiday before I come, and the boat didn't reach that time. So you couldn't get in touch. I can't get in touch with my mother or my brother until I come here. When I reach here, you wrote and take time, for the letter to go home and come back to know that you arrived safe. But now you phone, or you can text or something, but you couldn't do that those days. You couldn't do that. But they know when you arrive because you find they're waiting for you. When you arrive in Victoria, I see my brother, my sister-in-law, and my sister was waiting for me. When I reached in Victoria, I was so glad.
Guess in that case, the captain of the ship would have been in contact with the company in London, maybe. Morse code, maybe? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they must have been in contact somehow to let the families know.
Telegraph, cable. You send cable on ship to the government here, you know. You send cable because we don't know where we are. So when you reach certain place, you have to leave the boat, and they put you in a small boat. When you come out in the small boat, they give you a packed lunch, and you take the train to Victoria. When you reach Victoria, that's your journey. Your journey ending.
So you got off the main boat, then got onto a smaller boat, you said?
Yeah, like it's like a small sea. You leave the big ocean sea, and you go to a small until you get the train. Yeah, because I don't think those days a big boat couldn't come to the harbor or whatever, I don't know. But you go to I remember when they close the door, everybody stand up. You don't sit down because it wasn't a long journey by the small boat until you get to the train. That's Dover. You reach Dover, and you take the train to Victoria. But you don't have no experience. You don't know. It's a chance taking. You don't know where you're going. You don't hear nobody say anything. Whatever. You just know you're supposed to learn certain date, and you don't learn that date. So the boat take longer in the sea.
So your journey was a month, you said, so 4 weeks. So for those 4 weeks, what were you doing on the ship in the time you had? Were you reading? Were you talking to people, socializing? What were you doing to keep yourself busy?
Wake up, you have your bath, your shower. You go for breakfast, then you go for lunch, you go for supper. There's a tea break. We used to have a tea break, I think. And then you talk, you meet people, you go on the deck. Sometimes you go see a movie. It's just like a holiday, like you're on a holiday, like a tour. It was a cruise ship. It's just like a cruise ship. You got the people come and call you when every time meal your time, they come and call you. Meal, is it ring a bell or something? I can't quite remember. Yeah. And they tell you what room, what table, what, you know.
So when it was like mealtime, did they kind of call you in cabins, like cabin 1 to 30? Yeah. It's your time to have food.
Yeah, they call the cabin number which room you have to go for, restaurant you have to go for your meal.
How was the food on the ship? Do you remember? Was it like, did you enjoy the food on the ship, or was it just, it was just sustenance for you?
It wasn't that bad, A certain chef you get, sometimes you get a good meal, sometimes you don't enjoy it, but it wasn't that bad. The food wasn't that bad at all.
Were there any parties or socials on the ship?
No, I didn't. They used to have party, but I didn't used to go. I only dress up if the ship land somewhere, and you're allowed to go out the ship to land. Yeah. If the ship land any place and you're allowed to go out, that's the only time I dress. But I didn't used to go to party. If I go to movie, I go in the day. I don't go out in the night. I used to be in my cabin in the night. After supper, you go in your cabin. Yeah, the people party, yes. Yeah, people used to go to party. There's a lot of thing happen. A lot of thing happen in the boat, you know. Lot of thing happening. But I try my best to keep myself to myself. If you share with somebody and they go to party or they go out, when they come back, I'm in my bed, you know, because I just focus. I want to meet my brother and my family that already here, you know. But I see a lot of things happen too. I try don't get involved, you know.
So, what made your brother want to come to England, the United Kingdom? Were there advertisements in like newspapers or word of mouth? Do you know what his motivation was?
I don't know how he knows, but I know he's on a few. After he from Aruba, he want a job. He want to work because he was immigration to Aruba for 8 years. So when he came back, he want something to do, and they decide, a whole group of friends of him, they decide to come to England. So they all travel together. They live the same time. That's how we come. We come here. Come here to look for a job. They probably, I don't know if they did she advertise or what happened, but they paid the passage and they came here for work.
So, when you came to England, did you have to look for a job right away, or were you able to take a few weeks to get accustomed to life here, then start looking for a job?
Yeah, it take a few weeks because you had this ship, like, how they call it? You know, all this movement for months you on the sea traveling. So you had to take a break to get yourself sorted out, you know. Find out to stay with your brother for a while, and then afterwards we start to look for a job.
How did you go about looking for a job? So, were you able to find a job through the church, or was it by looking through newspapers at job advertisements, or just kind of like word of mouth? So, someone knew of someone who was looking for someone.
The first time I looked for a job, it's a friend I know that was here, Frances. She go with me and we was look for a job. I get the job and she didn't get the job. I stayed there for a while. I do coffee. I do coffee shop. I used to work busy when 12 o'clock lunchtime. We were so busy. I used to work so fast. Then I had to go nighttime to go and train, take the bus to train about the work I was doing. But my brother said, he said that nighttime to travel, he don't like that, so I have to leave that job. Which is I did like, but true, I have to go night work, night school to learn about the job they send you, you know. So anyway, so I had to leave that job. He didn't mind I left that job, so. And afterwards I got other job to do.
At that time, where were you living? What area in London were you living?
I used to live Albany Road, London. Is it IC15? Camberwell? Albany Road is Camberwell.
And where was this job? The coffee shop job.
It was Trafalgar Square. Every 6 o'clock when I leave work, my brother outside waiting for me.
What? So you'd finish at 6 in the evening?
Yes. Yeah, I can't remember what time I start in the morning, but I remember we finish at 6, close down 6. Yes.
Then you would have to come home, then go back again for training.
Yes, you have to go back, take the train to go for training. Finish late at night. I don't know what time, but my brother said, no, you can't do that. Because I'm new in the country, so he didn't want me to go. and do it all. I had to leave that job.
So after you've left the coffee shop, what was next? Where did you go to work next?
And when I go in the job center, they want to send me somewhere with family. You live there and you work there. He didn't want me to do that neither. So I work in factory. When I leave the factory, I work in a coffee shop in Liverpool Street, ABC, in Liverpool Street.
And the factory, was that the anchor factory?
No, that was that's I worked in washout, operator machine, do washout, washout to put in pipe in this, washout. Yeah, you put. I used to do that, and every 5 o'clock you go post office, post the parcel. What? Yeah, and the machine, foot pedal machine. Then after that, when I leave there, I go back to ABC coffee shop in Liverpool Street. And the job was so hard for me to do.
When did you work at Lions Corner House?
When that's my first job.
I'm going home one day tomorrow. And that is it for today. I'll be bringing you part 2 next week. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you soon.